Ho, yeah! We're coming to ya live from WRUE Tennessee. It's the Scribbling Woman.
Hi, I'm Nancy Rue. You're a scribbling woman too. So welcome back to Women Creating Writerly Lives. The past few times we've been together, we've talked about reigniting your passion for your writerly life and reconnecting to it. Today, let's focus on releasing some things. First, a little bit of background. It is not at all surprising that we grow up either rule-oriented, rebelling against every rule, or wishing we could be that person. It's not surprising at all because we are freaking surrounded by rules our entire lives. First, there were our parents' dictates. Make your bed, bust your dishes, don't bite people. In school, there were, of course, many rules. No running, no shouting, no acting like a kid. If we were taken to church, we were introduced to the 10 Commandments, obviously the perfect, means of living, but some of them we weren't quite ready for. I remember asking my poor priest when I was 7 years old what adultery meant. When we got to high school, we had to learn to follow the unspoken social rules. Don't make out with your best friends steady. Don't plop yourself down at an established cafeteria table unless you're invited. If you want to be cool, don't look too interested in what's going on in the classroom from the teacher. When we began to adult, we probably left most of those behind, most of them anyway, and yet all of us tend to establish some rules for ourselves that upon careful consideration are just every bit as arbitrary. Like, here's a couple of mine. Everything on my to-do list has to be done before I can rest. I can only pamper myself on my birthday or after having major surgery. And here is the one that I'm really fighting with right now. Only one latte per week. I mean, seriously? But we also have rules for ourselves as writers, consciously or not. And I'm not going to say break all of them immediately. I just think it's worth considering whether they still apply, because it might just be time to release some of them. There are categories of writing rules. Today, let's focus on 3. 1, think about the rules you've set for yourself in terms of the practical things: time, space, money. For example, many of my fellow writers have established this as a rule: I can only claim the leftovers, the space no one else wants, the time when nobody else needs anything, the cash that remains when everybody has everything they want. Truth, your writerly life deserves more than the dregs. Another example: I can't set up a writing budget, create a writing nook, or spend 4 hours a week working on my novel until I am earning some income from it. Question: how can we earn any income from it if we're not doing those things? And finally, I can't put author on my Instagram profile until I've published something. Who made that rule? It's probably somebody who has been recently published, took a long time to get there, and now they're feeling pretty superior about their sweet selves. But here's the deal. Rules are meant to protect health and safety. If they don't do that, but they only put limitations on us, that could do with some rethinking. Because frankly, I think we're more a danger to ourselves and others if we don't maintain the time, the space, and the money for the expression of our innate creativity. Just ask Jim about that. I've been a danger to him many times. The second category is to consider the rules you post for writing itself. For example, I can't move on to chapter 2 until I've perfected chapter 1. I have to put together an outline because that's what writers do, even though it is mind-numbing to me. Writing in the first person is only for beginners. Never use the words it and that. And here's a new one for me. Do not write too perfectly lest you be accused of using AI. Okay, pause here and recall that there are only two rules for creative writing. Be understandable and be authentic, which means true to who you are and what is yours to say. So pause here and take note of the writing rules that freeze your fingers on the keyboard. Third category, ponder the rules that currently govern the essence of your writerly life, that try to tell you who you are supposed to be as a writer and how you're supposed to live. For example, don't get too woo-woo. Delight is not professional. You must spend at least an equal amount of energy promoting yourself before you even write the book as you do writing, if not more energy. Do not take yourself seriously as a writer until you're published. With the swell of self-publishing, there has also been a rise in people telling us how to do that because it's going to make them a lot of money. They give us rules to put themselves in a position of authority, and we pay to get us some of that. So they tell us things like, in upping your Instagram following to promote your book, never talk about your book. That is an actual rule. Rules for keeping Amazon happy include, do not allow anyone who has the same last name as yours to post a review. It will be rejected. Same thing for anyone in any online group that you belong to. Somehow there's an algorithm for them to figure that out. Basically, only strangers can write reviews for you. What? A Sam Hill. Does any of that have to do with your essence, your uniqueness as a writer? In fact, there are no rules for your quiddity, your truth as a creative. That would be like creating commandments for when you're allowed to ugly cry, when you get to snort-laugh, when you have permission to get an idea. It is that ridiculous. People out to make money telling us how to be writers notwithstanding, the writerly life bears no resemblance to corporate America. It has nothing to do with capitalism. Writerly rules is an oxymoron. So, will you try something? Will you look at all the rules that you've already jotted down and then add those that have to do with your writerly life? So, the ones related to time, space, and money, the ones pertaining to writing itself, and those that put limits on your very essence as a creative being, your view of yourself. Then cross out the ones that no longer apply, that are patently ridiculous. No writing until a house is spotless. The contemporary fiction market requires sex and swearing. Unless you sell 1,000 copies on Amazon, you do not get to call yourself a successful writer. If there are any left on your list that you haven't scratched out until your pen has made a hole in the paper, take a page from the book of Captain Jack Sparrow. Remember when they talked to him about rules and he said, they're more like guidelines. And simply turn any rules that are left into an expression of your own authenticity. So if the rule, do not neglect my family so I can write, still stands, that's a pretty good rule. Reshape that into encourage everyone's creativity, including my own. Be a role model for the creative choice. If the rule no ly adverbs made the cut, then reshape that to write what flows, weed out the lys later, and do it judiciously. If you are a scribbly who does well with firm guidelines, as in you will completely run amok without them, consider that there are only 3 that apply to all writers. You got your pen ready? 1, honor your gift by giving it time, space, and money. No matter how little, make sure it gets that kind of attention. Number 2, be authentic in the way you express that gift on the page and in your life, whether you make an outline or just simply let it all flow. Whether you spend 4 hours a week or 10 minutes, whatever is authentic to you. And number 3, thou shalt not allow someone else to put limits on any of the above. You are a grown woman. You are a writer. We all need information from time to time. There is a proper way to write a query letter. We have to spell everything right. And just don't use semicolons. Just don't do it. No one knows how. But when it comes to your own unique, inimitable writerly lives, no one has the right to impose rules, least of all ourselves. It's absolutely worth looking at yours and recognizing which ones need reshaping and which ones need to be released altogether. And that may seem a little bit daunting, yeah? So there's help for you. First of all, there is the Scribbling Woman interactive companion for writerly women of any age. And this is me breaking the rule about touting my own book. There is also the Scribbling Women online support group. And then there's me. So if you want to avail yourself of any of those, visit www.nancyrue.com. And then flout the rules like the rebellious teenager you wanted to be, which means, Scribblies, just scribble on.